everybody. Welcome to the live room. This is the podcast in the live room at Lad Studios. So what's up? Welcome to
Episode 1. It's happening.
Episode 1, Humble Beginnings. Tyler, tell us why it's called Humble Beginnings.
Because Kendrick Lamar's really cool, and his big song is Humble. Humble Beginnings because it's Humble Beginnings. Like, it's our first one. It's a bare bones setup. So it's just...
This has been in the talks a long time.
Long time.
This was just a little thought we had years ago when we met. Always thought the idea of a podcast was cool, and it's a Wednesday night, so why not do it?
I mean,
podcast.
Why not start?
Let's look at this table. Let's start with this coffee table here. Can we start with it?
I think so. Yes.
Okay.
It's below knee height.
It's below knee height. It's white. The chairs are also white, but they're off-white. They look more blue than this white here, which is also not the right white as the coffee lid. So it's Humble Beginnings, man. Nothing's right, but we're just going to do it.
Nothing's
They're
right.
close to matching, but we'll get there. Mm-hmm. We'll get there. We're also white, you know.
Yes, well, yeah, it's all white.
It's all white.
Because we're all white.
Yet we're drinking all blacks.
All blacks. All right, so look, my name's Erek here. I am the owner and audio engineer here at Lad Studios. This is my good friend Tyler, who we call Big Ted. This is my good friend Jackson, who we call Small Ted, and I am Medium-Sized Ted. Welcome to the program, folks. It's not necessarily all encompassed by music per se. However, that is all of our collective passion. So we are going to talk about music, but we're not going to put ourselves in that kind of box. We're pretty much just going to talk about what we want to talk about with kind of in a relative form to music.
In the theme of music, per se.
Look, what happened today, guys? Let's talk about it. Jackson, how'd your day go?
What happened today?
What do you do? What do you do for work? Because I still don't even know.
It's a mystery. Most people don't know. I have a new career every 6 to 9 months, based purely on financial need and desires for expensive habits. No. Look, I'm in the coffee industry, actually. So I'm actually a sales rep for a local coffee company. I hit a lot of small country towns, see how they're going with the current coffee suppliers, try to sell my stuff. It's the best stuff. Support local business.
Yep.
And that's how we do it.
That's what it's all about.
Keeps me busy.
Yeah, I hear you. Big Ted, what do you do? You dabble a little bit in the night work.
Very much so in the night work.
No corners?
No, not as of yet. More of a laneway kind of, but no.
You're working your way.
Yeah, working my way there.
Yeah.
No, I am a duty manager out at the Bendigo Club, which is a local hospitality venue.
Yep.
We pretty much do everything you can ever imagine there, and I've been there for a long time and really love it. So
That's really cool.
What about you, mate?
Look, I mean, I work here in this building, this vicinity.
Really?
This building is my livelihood now.
You also sleep on the futon out the front.
I have thought about it. I'm not there yet, but I've thought about it. Look, so I work downstairs as my 9 to 5 job at Smartphone Fix. I replace all kinds of things: batteries, phones, screens, etc. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I know about the etc.
Is this making sense?
Yeah, too much sense.
So yeah, I do that as my 9 to 5, and then upstairs is Lad Studios, Bendigo's first, well, possibly first commercial space. I mean, I don't know. That's what the word on the street is. So now we're just kind of hanging out, branching out, and doing some different things. Yeah.
And this is one of them.
This is like Jackson alluded to. We've been in the talks of doing this for a long time.
It's a brainchild. It's a brainwave.
Easily over a year now.
Countless seconds.
Countless, you're right.
I mean, I can't even count them. That's how many countless seconds.
I can only count to 10, and I know it's more than that.
Yes, that's exactly
Like,
it.
you know.
So yeah, this is just something that we wanted to do for a long time.
Yeah.
And we're calling it Live Room because we're at the Live Room in Lad Studios. And yeah.
The beautiful studios.
Beautiful, brand new commercial.
It looks great, man. You've done very well.
It's not too bad.
Soundproofing's tight. Looks good, man.
I mean, other than the fact that, like, in my direct cans, all I'm hearing is the echo in the room.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Whatever, dude.
Humble beginnings.
Humble beginnings. Hashtag humble beginnings trending. So look,
Send it.
let's talk about music. Obviously, we're in a recording studio.
We sure are.
How did you guys get into music? I mean, was it something as simple as, you got your little hit clips? Do you guys remember hit clips?
Hit clips.
Hit clips?
This is a foreign concept to me.
Oh,
Was that video hits over here?
hit clips was...
Like TV music videos?
No. This has nothing to do with TV.
Oh, okay.
Hit clips were these small, tiny little, like ant-sized cassette tapes that you could put in this little cassette player, and they only played for like 30 seconds of the song. So I remember listening to Aaron Carter's I Want Candy.
Banger.
for at least 30 seconds
Wow.
from the verse into the chorus.
And
So
that's
there
what
was
got you
like
into
6
music?
of them for the song,
No, there was only one, and you could just put them in this little hit clip player.
and it would play certain parts.
Yes, it was very brief,
right.
because of the size. So I
I didn't know you were born in the 1940s.
I look honestly,
I had a Discman.
it had a gramophone attachment on it.
Yeah, wow.
No, I'm kidding.
Oh.
That
See,
one,
this is a completely new concept to me, so you can say anything and I'll believe
this
it.
went way
There's a language barrier here.
language barrier. We'll put it down to cultural differences.
Yes.
So anyway, yes, hit clips. Not how I got into music, and probably anybody listening is not going to understand even what that means. Again, cultural
I'll
differences.
check it out though. I'm
I mean,
curious.
Google it. Hashtag Google it. Big Ted, come on, how does a Big Ted fellow such as yourself get into the realm of music?
Goodness me, that's a loaded question.
It's like a loaded baked potato. That's what that is.
Oh, goodness, now I'm hungry again. Anyway, I got into music through my father. He was never a musician or anything like that. He just had a really good taste in music.
The Grand Ted.
The Grand Ted, yeah. He's like the grandfather clock.
What was he
Teddy bear at the
into?
same
What was
time.
his taste?
He's very heavy metal minded. So, he had like Skid Row, like Iron Maiden, Metallica, like blasting in like a Mitsubishi Magna. It was great. Cool. If only you could do that these days and not be frowned upon. Oh, it's just...
Only the best.
Yeah, exactly right. So I remember listening to like all of that kind of stuff and just having my mind blown from an early age going, this stuff is insane. Like, what the hell? And I still feel that way when I listen to a lot of the old stuff as well. So that's kind of what got me into music, and those bands being very heavily instrument minded. That kind of led my way into starting to play guitar when I was about 12.
So you play guitar?
Yeah,
That's great.
occasionally.
Of all things.
I dabble.
You dabble a little
dabble,
bit. A little bit of smoke on the water every now and again. Don't hurt you.
Yeah, that's all right.
That's great.
We won't go there, though.
I'm hashtag Google it. Jackson, what about you? How did
I start?
A caffeine aficionado get into music?
Would you believe my grandma owned a music shop?
Really? Yeah,
I
could
believe
believe
that.
I could see that.
I can never surprise people anymore. I just say ludicrous things and people just believe me. Like, all right, it's Jackson.
You should
All
try
right.
to
It's
name to
because
ludicrous.
it's because it's hipster now. Oh, my grandma owned a vinyl shop. Oh, that's sweet, dude.
That's lit AF,
Did she-
man.
did-
Everything
wear
your
flannel?
grandma did back in the day is cool now.
I know it's come full circle here.
When are we going to be cool?
Never.
Oh, okay.
When we're grandmas.
That makes sense.
Just-
It's 2018 and the future's bright.
I look forward to that day.
But yeah, look, my grandma owned a music shop, and some of my earliest memories were just like going down there, and like my dad would help her close the shop late at night because like she worked there till her retirement. Like I was really young, like at least 3 or 4 years old, going down like Allen's Walk where like Black Ren is and down in town now.
Shout out to
I'm just
Black
going
Ren.
to change the angle of the dangle here. Sorry, Jack.
Ooh, that's all right.
There, a little better.
And yeah, like I was just curious as a young kid, like she had like Ibanez and like Samick guitars in her shop.
Samick.
Yeah.
I have a Samick
school.
at home.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Not to be confused with Samick the Hedgehog.
Yes, you can't confuse them. They're both just as good as each other.
Yes.
But as a young kid, you see these instruments on the shelves and you're like, wow, cool. What is that? It's edgy, it's pointy. And they just sparked a bit of interest. I actually went on to play violin when I entered primary school. I played that for
Nice.
a bit shy of 10 years maybe. Took a hiatus from my musical career, started guitar in high school.
There you go.
But yeah, look, grandma's music shop. I'll put it down to that.
Nice. Well, Grandma played you like a fiddle there.
And no one, like, she didn't even play an instrument.
Oh, wow.
No.
Can I say
She was a
tough
hustler.
crowd? Tough crowd, guys. Like Samick the Hedgehog. I thought you guys would have been bored over there. Like, nobody laughed.
I'm too serious at the moment. Like, I was trying to keep it together. I saw your eyes. I'm like,
That's what its podcast is about,
I
dude.
know.
Samick the Hedgehog. Don't worry about it. Look, I
still don't get it.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I like that your grandmother had a music shop. That's cool. And then Grand Ted as well. It's cool. My father didn't play music at all. Like he probably should have, considering like the record collection that he had as a kid.
pretty
But
insane, was it?
very. I've still got some of them at home. My mother played guitar, but I really got into it by raiding the CD cabinet. Not the cabinet, the shelf, rather. If I'm going to be politically correct, let's call it a shelf. Look, my favorite albums were found in that pile then, which is what we're going to talk about later on.
So your parents had good taste.
Yeah, absolutely.
They always do.
My
Mine,
father,
mine did not.
my mother was like
We'll get
Duran
into that.
Duran, Flock of Seagulls. My father was like Yes, Rush, Led Zeppelin. So that's what I gravitated towards, and obviously that's how I get this macho physique because I listen to all that good music.
That's right.
I mean, I do have a little bit of Flock of Seagulls here with the front fringe, but that's about it. So then I started to play guitar. I my very first guitar was an Epiphone Les Paul Special 2 from Guitar Center Harrisburg.
How old were you?
I was in sixth grade, so that would have been, I think I
14.
would have been 12.
Yeah, cool.
12 or something like that. Yeah, 12. So 12 sounds about right. It was $149, and it came with a crate amp.
Oh,
Do you guys remember Crate?
Crate's still, well, I don't know if they're still a thing, but
Not
I've
anymore.
seen them around.
Because Gibson bought out Crate. Can you believe
Oh,
that?
there you go.
And
Gibson
now-
of all people.
Now they filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy.
They keep making terrible investments, Gibson.
I know.
First
Stick to making
mahogany,
guitars.
then Crate. They had Kramer amps Kramer guitars around the middle there somewhere. So
Well, yeah, there you go.
who have made a comeback?
Yeah, well, you
Have
know,
they?
depends on who you talk
If you're
to.
into the 80s.
Yeah, true.
Who
Super
isn't into
Strats.
the 80s?
We were just talking about the 80s not long ago, just like how amazing a lot of the synth sound was. Like it's
Just like it
crazy
was
stuff.
40 years ago.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Wow, tough crowd, Jackson. Tough crowd.
That was slow also.
Speaking of the 80s, have you guys seen Blade Runner? Do you guys dabble?
No, I haven't.
Can I just say
And
that
Is this a film about shaving or?
it's from running away from a shit quattro?
Right.
Is this cultural differences again? Am I finding that you guys?
what's a quattro?
It's Spanish.
Like an Audi?
It's Spanish for four, which means four blades.
Oh, of
It's
course.
a four-blade
All right.
razor.
Is this where Gillette started their entire company on this film? Like,
So are you a Gillette or Schick guy? Because I personally just don't shave.
well, obviously I don't either. But when I did shave, when I first started, when I was about 4,
That was late.
thank you.
I started like two weeks ago, man.
It's nice, man.
Nice.
You're getting there.
It's growing in.
It's actually about a month's growth right now.
Oh, good.
In all honesty.
Goodness gracious. I'm a big guy. The same
big guy.
guys that make pens. They
Nice.
make nice razors. Oh, they're not nice razors.
So
They
you
get
just
the
use a
job done.
lighter and just burn it off
Pretty
each
much.
time?
I have seen people
quick.
do that.
I've had it done to me before.
You've been burned.
I remember in one of my old bands, we were in like a band called Defenders of the Faith. We were like heavy metal royalty. Yeah.
So you were like August Burns Rad.
Pretty much, yeah. But more 80s, like pretty much like Iron Maiden cover band kind of
So we're
stuff.
tying this into Blade Runner.
Trying to. Yeah, trying to.
Bring it home.
They
Harrison Ford just walked up to him one day at band practice.
yeah, and he burnt my beard off. Like, no, he had like a lighter. He was smoking darts at the time, and
Yeah.
one of the guys in the band, like literally, I had a shitty little goatee kind of thing, and it just. I'm like, I spent like 4 years growing that. Why did you do that? I felt like a king when I had. I felt like Dimebag Darrell. And anyway,
Dimebag Darrell.
Dimebag Darrell.
Nice.
He's good. Pantera's a great band.
Yeah.
And then after band practice, we watched Blade Runner. So
So you've seen Blade Runner?
I have
before.
not. No.
I highly recommend it. Speaking of the 80s,
I've heard good things. Too many people tell me to see the new one.
It's so good. You obviously got to watch the first one first. It's a slow movie, but the payoff was good. But you have to watch the extended Blu-ray cut
You always do.
because the theatrical version they put in a really cheesy ending because crowds didn't like the original ending.
Oh,
So
Right.
if you're a fan of Ridley Scott, like Alien and all that.
Alien,
kind of stuff.
yeah.
oh, of course.
So yeah, same director.
Right, there you go. I like Aliens, so I should like Blade
So
Runner.
look, my tie-in because it's the 80s. I really like the Juno 60 synths. It is the
Synths.
sound of the 80s. If you guys don't know it,
100%.
you
Yeah.
know, like it's that quintessential shit quattro sound.
Absolutely.
Sweet.
Yes.
What would you say like the synth in like Stranger Things is?
It's a Juno 60. I believe.
it?
I
Yeah.
believe it's just a.
If not, it'd be a really good MIDI version of it.
It's a. Is it a major seventh arpeggio? I'm pretty.
I don't know. I could not play a major scale if you had a gun in my head.
I'm pretty sure it is. It's a seventh arpeggio because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4,
Yeah.
5, 6, 7.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a major
All
seven.
right.
It has something to do with 7, and it's obviously a major influence.
I think it's major.
Okay,
So, I think.
it's a major minor.
I'm thinking of it in my head like.
Yes,
It's like a
fast.
gloomy sounding major.
Yes. So it's like
Which is rare.
obviously Major is usually sounds like it's having a good day, but the Stranger Things arpeggiation sounds like it had a really bad day at work. But it's still
Comes home to a nice family.
it's not like, hey guys, what's up? It's like, yeah, I'm all right. It's like, if you ask somebody like, hey, how's it going? Normally people respond like, oh, I'm great, thanks. But inside they're like, oh, I'm having a terrible day. It's like Stranger Things really said, oh, actually, it wasn't that great of a day.
I did not have a great day today.
Is this making sense?
No,
Yeah,
but
am I-
I'm
or am I
on
off on a
board.
tangent?
I'm on board.
All right, I'm on board. Stranger Things is really good.
Oh, it's too
the
good.
way.
They're filming season 3 again.
Yes, they are. I'm trying not to watch or see anything about it because I don't want to know. Because season 2 is really good. You're a Stranger Things man. You dabble.
I am. Yes.
You dabble. Very good. Who's your favorite character?
1,
2, 3,
let's
Hopper.
go. Oh, Hopper's a good choice.
Hopper's a great choice.
good
Me
choice.
personally, especially after season 2, I really liked Dart. He had a good character development.
Dustin
in
and
season 2.
Dart, the classic
Oh, but just
romance.
Dart. I didn't really like Dustin. I really liked Dart. He was good.
I liked 11 when she went like
Rogue.
gangster.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Bitchin'.
Like Black Flag. Just
yeah, like underground warehouse. Like just that particular version.
Can I just say that I did not like episode 7 at all?
I agree with you. It shouldn't have been there. It was good.
It deviated.
Yeah.
But Jackson, you sound like you liked
Actually,
it.
I changed my mind. Kai Green in that episode was my favorite thing.
Yes.
Well,
He's a bodybuilder.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, he was a big black guy, wasn't he?
The muscle. Yeah.
The muscle.
The big guy.
I'm wearing his jumper right now, actually.
Nice tie-in.
Really?
Yeah, that's one of his brands that he's
The
sponsored by.
universe connects.
It really does.
Works in mysterious ways.
Look, so speaking of mysterious ways and connections, this episode we're talking about some of our favorite albums. I queried to the guys, I'm like, what's your favorite album of all time? And we were like, oh, it's too hard. So I think we're just going to talk about our favorite 3 albums. So we'll do it roundtable style. We'll tell each other why we should listen to it, why it's good, and what kind of importance it has on like your upbringing as a musician. So Jackson, let's start with Tyler. Okay. No, Jackson,
After all
Jackson,
that,
give us your
tell me
Jackson
about it.
5.
Tell me about it.
Obviously, it's a hard choice, but if you put the filter on formative album, like with a music career in mind,
Yeah.
okay. What really kicked off my music career, strangely, was Michael Jackson. I say strangely because I, obviously went into like the heavier guitar side of things. But Michael Jackson's expression of individuality, I guess, and just like being eccentric, like really struck a chord with me,
yeah,
and just got me interested in just a unique dude per se.
Very unique, yeah.
And then as life goes on a bit, I stopped my violin career and I picked up guitar because I heard some crazy heavy metal and I thought it was just wicked, testosterone kid, crazy, So how does that tie in from Michael Jackson?
Eddie Van Halen.
Anyway, close.
We'll get to that
close.
later.
It was probably Joe Satriani that really ticked there.
The Satch Boogie.
It was Surfing with the Alien.
Yep.
Great song.
Just one of the particular guitar solos in that. He just hits this note, and it just blew my mind. Like, I need to buy a guitar right away. I
Sometimes that's all it
was
takes.
doing archery at the time. Sold my bow and arrow to buy an Ibanez.
So,
man of many
your
talents.
real
Conditionals.
identity is Legolas,
Yeah, I have. Yeah,
Musical.
go for it.
Lord of the Strings.
That's the facial hair I'm trying to go for. By the way, the Orlando Bloom,
I can see it.
the Johnny Depp,
Johnny
or
Orlando.
Orlando Bloom. Haven't made up my mind, but
Orlando Depp.
we'll get there. But obviously, I found Joe Satriani way too hard to play initially. But I'm like, all right, I got to figure
is.
out how to play metal.
Yeah.
So a pretty formative band for me would have been Metallica right off the bat.
Oh yeah.
I, generally speaking, I like band's first few albums. But if I had to pick one, I'm going to say Master of Puppets. Because metal, down pick, that self-titled song, Master of Puppets, I guess,
yeah.
like that was huge for me.
Speed of that down pick always gets me on Master of Puppets. It's
I
ridiculous.
still can't do it.
It's a workout. Yeah. It's a workout, even for Kai Green. Like,
Goodness me.
Wow, that was a good tie-in.
oh, thanks.
I'm wearing his jumper right now.
Stranger Things.
So look, I'm going to say Master of Puppets. How many do I have to pick? 3.
So we're doing 3. So we'll do 1 each. So we'll go around
Oh, cool.
3 times.
Look, I'm going to say Master of Puppets. That really did kick off my music career. It went into a lot of grunge, and then other things sprouted out from there with different bands, different interests. But yeah, look, if I had to lock down to the most formative album, Master of Puppets.
There was when I said I used to raid my parents' record collection or CD collection, I found with my father's stuff, there was a certain CD that I loved, which was Rush Moving Pictures. But I got to tell you guys how I actually made that connection there. So it started with, what is it? Yes is one of my other favorite bands. It started with a greatest hits collection from Yes, but I cannot remember for the life of me what it was actually called. So I've just quickly done a Google search, trying to
Google it.
Trying to find what it looks like while not trying to type.
Google's the next Bing.
This is it. Yes Stories. Yes Stories. So it was a double CD up until it was from the Yes Time in a Word album, which I think was around 68, to 90125, which had Owner of a Lonely Heart. So like that span of stuff really kind of like got me interested in music. Of course, I loved Led Zeppelin at that time, and I actually really started to fall in love with rock music from a Japanese band called The Pillows. Have you guys ever seen a anime? You anime fans, right?
A little bit.
Absolutely, yeah.
Have you heard of FLCL or Fully Cooley? Have you heard that?
Absolutely, yeah.
That they did the soundtrack for that show. So when I was a kid watching Adult Swim on Cartoon Network back in the early 2000s, this show was on, and it was a 6-episode thing to try and test like the graphical engine or something, or animation engine. So they just use it as a tester, like a dummy pilot kind of thing. But the music was so good. It inspired me to possibly buy a Rickenbacker, because the Rickenbacker 4001 is heavily featured in that show.
Very much so, yeah.
So anyway, I found my love of music through like The Pillows, Led Zeppelin, and Yes, this compilation CD. But Rush Moving Pictures that's the CD with Tom Sawyer, YYZ, Limelight. It is
the
like,
big one.
It is the definitive Rush album. It came out in 1981. That inspired me to pick up and really start playing. When I was a kid, like I had a couple guitar influences like that made me want to play, like Brian May. I really wanted the Red Special guitar.
Oh, dude. Just make it yourself like him.
Yeah, I made it out of like a mantelpiece like he did.
Yeah.
Pretty much. So it was cool. But like that Rush album, it got me to the level of playability that I have now. And I wouldn't say like I'm amazing or anything, but I feel like I can be technically proficient if I have to be, because that album prepared me to have the skill set to pretty much drag and drop myself into any situation, drums, bass, and guitar, kind of.
Free masters of their craft, like that band, man.
Seriously,
Absolute masters.
I've seen Rush 5 times. I saw Rush their very last show in Los Angeles, their 40th anniversary show, and I spent like $800 on a ticket, and I flew from Australia to LA to see them.
Commitment.
That is commitment.
That's how big of a band and how big of an effect that particular album had on me. Like it changed my musical landscape.
Yeah.
And not a lot of people know about them, especially here in Australia. Like they're a Canadian band. They've never played in Canada. I guess they just didn't make enough.
Only guitarists will know about
That's it.
Rush, yeah.
And people like...
And bass players.
And bass players and drummers. I mean, I guess.
I believe the term for that collective is called musician. I believe.
It depends on...
Fact check.
Yeah, good. Yeah, Jackson fact check. Jack check. People only really know about him from Guitar Hero. Because I guess YYZ or Tom Sawyer
that's how I found him. Yeah.
So they're a very niche band, but you look into it, they have such a huge fan base. Obviously, me being one of the most diehard fans. So, Moving Pictures for Rush really changed my life.
Whew, that's a hard act to follow.
Moving Pictures, moving on. Big Ted.
Oh.
What is one of your favorite albums of all time? One of 3.
Well, I really took on the words formative when we were looking at and researching these 3 top albums, and for me, like the big album that got me into music in general, not necessarily playing guitar, just me like identifying as music as something cool, was I listened to Live After Death, Iron Maiden from 1985.
Wow.
Yeah, Dad had the cassette of that in the car and was pretty much in it for like 4 years without taking it.
What Iron Maiden song was on that?
It was their live album, so all their classics from
up
85
until
and previous, yeah. So like for me, like the big songs on that were Hallowed Be Thy Name.
Oh yeah, Number of the Beast.
Number of the Beast. All the classics are on there.
That bass though.
Oh, it's ridiculous. But the one song that I really liked was I think it was 13 or 17 minutes long, was Rime of the Ancient Mariner.
Oh yeah.
That was just, hearing that like and going just for a trip to the shops in the car, was just the most epic trip I've ever had. Like just...
Groceries have never been so cool.
No. Especially just like when the bass is like real, like I just imagine like it was really deep sea when I first heard that. I'm like, oh, that's just right in here.
Hits the spot, you know.
Hits the spot.
That's
so-
the sound of a precision bass.
absolutely.
A precision bass is just so deep and so growly. Steve Harris, like, he only plays with 2 fingers as well.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So not only is he a good bass player, but his girlfriend's probably very happy as well. So it's a
I'd say wife now. Like,
you never know. But like Iron Maiden's so good musically. The same as Rush as well, and Metallica. They've all like
all very proficient in their craft.
All very proficient, and they've all kind of influenced each other. In
For
some
sure.
way, shape, or form.
Absolutely.
All monsters.
Absolutely.
Monsters.
Some kind of monsters. Yeah.
Yeah, some kind of monster. That was really good.
I had to get
I
a
was
Saint
going
Anger
to
reference in there.
troll and say Saint Anger was my Metallica album of choice.
I actually love it though. I hate the drum sound, but some of the songs in there were bangers.
Look, if you like trash cans or bins as snare sounds, yeah, it's fine.
I do like that.
I wonder why they just made a collective decision to turn the snare off.
Because it's Lars.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, I don't know. Like,
I wouldn't want to deal with it.
I'm sure
A
you've seen
set of circumstances happened, and they made that decision.
well, I mean,
like-
you've seen the documentary
Yeah.
about it. I really liked that as a kid.
Yeah.
I actually really liked Saint Anger as an album, and like that was their first foray into Drop C,
Yeah.
which is really strange for Metallica.
It was different, wasn't it? It didn't like, it was still Metallica obviously, but it didn't feel the same
Yeah.
as like some of their Drop C or Step Down.
We could
or,
talk a lot about Drop C bands
Yeah,
that were like formative, because clearly it was a thing, like in that, post year 2000, boom, Drop C guitar tuning, it changed the game. And things got heavier, moved on to 7 strings.
and now we're up to bloody 9 strings, or Jared Dines has got like an
18.
18 string,
18 string
just
on
drop
speed.
ass.
that's what the top string sounds
It's
like. Though.
ridiculous.
It's man, I tell you, props to Bob Rock.
Yeah.
Like seriously, for filling in as a bass player, like after
And,
Jason
and
Newsted.
for having a hair like that, it was perfect.
Like as far as producers go, like he's got pretty good hair.
Absolutely.
I don't know about him now.
Good chops, better hair.
I'm trying to top you there. I'm trying to top you.
You
As far
can't.
as
You can't though.
Rick Rubin had pretty good hair
Rick
back in his
Rubin-
day.
As far as I see, like every time I see a photo of him, he's laying down in a window. Do you know what I'm talking about?
They're the
Yes,
only ones
all right.
available on the internet are those
If
photos.
you just like Google like
For good reason.
Rick Rubin
great photo.
produces Black Sabbath album, and he's just like laying down.
the
He's
bad
the-
boy of
he's the
record
entire
producing.
back cover. Just
Yeah, Metallica, Saint Anger, Drop C, really good. It really did kind of like transition. It was a transition era because that was in the early 2000s, and then by 2007 or 2008, hardcore music started to come around.
back again, yeah.
Yeah, so obviously you can kind of see like things progressed into progressive metal.
Hence the name.
Yes, I like it. Jackson, what's number 2? Do you have number 2 prepared?
Number 2, let's talk family car drives in the car.
I know those very
All
well.
right, you guys had parents who had good musical tastes. My parents,
Loved Robbie Williams.
it's debatable. Robbie Williams comes to mind. Nora Jones.
Nora Jones is awesome.
One of the respectable picks was Meatloaf.
Meatloaf.
Just those 3 albums on repeat throughout my entire childhood in a Toyota Corolla.
Wow,
Yeah.
that is very average.
That's very average.
You know what I mean?
Yes, I know. I do know what you mean.
I also went to a Christian school, and do you know how hard it was to find good music?
It's
Not hanging shit on
Open the book,
Christian
man.
music, but like
open the book. They're all there on Eagle's Wings. Come on. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
That's a good song. I too went to Catholic school.
Yeah.
So we're all. I mean, did you get a?
I didn't, but I went to Bible college after I went to normal school. So we're all kind of on the same page.
I hear you. No, it's its own thing. But yes, please continue, Jackson.
But yeah, on the odd occasion, Red Hot Chili Peppers, like they were obviously huge around that time. By the way, like
The era, yeah.
that sort of era, Can't Stop, those sort of songs were on the radio. I'm like,
All the
hey,
time.
this is kind of funky, and
That bass though.
yeah, and like Flea on the bass and all that. And then that just sparked that interest in like an eccentric frontman with a good solid band. And then like the more you delve back onto the Red Hot Chili Peppers, you realize that it's like a lot of like old school rap in his like vocal technique with the rock side of things. So I'm just going to have to say any of the earlier Red Hot Chili Peppers albums, probably Blood, Sugar, Sex, Magic
That genre
comes to mind.
That era.
Yeah. Just 90s. That John Frusciante, his one of the first couple albums there.
Very talented guitarist.
I remember seeing MTV with. What was it? MTV Live. What was the guy's name? It began with a T. I can't remember his name.
Big Ted.
Another thing of cultural differences, you guys wouldn't know.
We had video hits
Video hits.
with I wouldn't even know.
I remember it was like summer of '98. I wish I could remember the guy's name. But it doesn't matter because it was like MTV Summer like Live or something like that, and they used to debut a lot of Red Hot Chili Peppers music videos back then because this was back obviously before YouTube. I mean, kids watching that were born in like 2016. Like YouTube didn't exist then. Can you believe it? But I still remember like they were very popular around then. I never really got into Red Hot Chili Peppers. I can appreciate them. I respect what they're doing, but it might not just be for me. Chad Smith, that's his name, Chad Smith,
The drummer.
yeah,
Will Ferrell.
The Chad.
Will Ferrell. Great drummer. And
Will Ferrell's great. Yeah, he's a great
and
drummer.
the leader of the group, he's always got his shirt off. So, and what's his name? Anthony
Kiedis.
Anthony Kiedis. Yeah, good pick.
Imagine how much sponsorship money like you would get if you made him wear a shirt. Like people would
Just a Nike swoosh. Like,
yeah,
boom.
$1 million right there.
Just do it.
Yeah, he should just do it.
Speaking of just doing it, my number 2 pick is Daft Punk.
Oh,
Hey.
Daft Punk. Can I just say, Daft Punk? It was like I first saw or heard a Daft Punk clip because back to the Adult Swim era of like anime. Have you guys heard of Cowboy Bebop?
that's my favorite
Yes.
anime of all time.
It's
It's like
so
a
good.
Tarantino sort of movie.
It's
but-
so good,
yeah.
man.
all 26 episodes of Cowboy Bebop are absolutely 100% every episode, and the movie as well, which is really good. I used to rent that from Blockbuster all the time. I'm really
Rest
showing
in
my
peace,
age here.
Blockbuster. Yeah,
Again, cultural difference.
Really showing my age.
we had Video Easy.
You guys used to have kangaroos deliver you videos.
Still do.
Still do.
Still do.
Still do, Rue.
The business isn't good anymore, but they still do it.
Yeah, there's just a hop, skip, and a jump away.
That's right. Video Easy.
Kangaroo to you. I should really do that. That's not... whatever. I'm going on a tangent. I'm sorry.
It's another business. Another business.
Look, Cowboy Bebop. Where am I going here? I used to watch video clips from dogpile.com. Do you guys remember that website? Another case of cultural difference.
Dogpile?
Dogpile. Yeah. Dogpile.
Yeah.
DOGPILE.com. It was its own search engine. You could browse by file type.
Oh,
So
cool.
I used to watch videos, and I remember there was this one montage of Cowboy Bebop that was put together with Daft Punk's "One More Time."
I've seen that. It's beautiful.
It was really old school. I think it's taken from the movie Cowboy Bebop, the
Yeah,
movie.
it is.
And that I was like, what is that? Like, that's so cool. I'd never heard anything like that. And this was just around 2001 when you're kidding me. How have I forgotten the name of the album? Daft Punk, blah, blah, blah.
Discoveries?
There goes
Crash!
There goes Crash. Yes, Discovery. Thank you, Jackson.
He just crashed.
Crash had a crash. Let me put him back up here.
There you go, fella.
Daft Punk Discovery. Pardon the pun. That album was actually really cool. Around the time when it came out, every single song on that is a absolute banger. But it's cool how they've done it as well because they use a lot of the old rolling drum samples, the 808 drum samples. I don't know.
I think so, yeah.
Something like that, because and what's really interesting is like my appreciation for Daft Punk has made me appreciate the music that they sampled, which was late 70s disco, now referred to as its own genre of music as French house, sampling that kind of 70s disco and making its own thing. It's called French house because Daft Punk, because they're French. Really good album.
Oh, for sure.
From front to back, it's amazing. Some of the best bass lines you'll ever hear.
Oh, mate.
Obviously, you've got One More Time on there. You've got Harder, Better, Faster, Stronger. And then there's a couple deep tracks. Voyager on there. Voyager, the most dank bass line. Like, you listen to that
I'm
song.
nodding my head. Just, yeah.
You listen to that song, you got to take a shower afterwards because it's just dirty. It's a good album.
You have to wash all of your clothes like after you have the shower. It's just that dirty.
Some of the best vocoder sounds of all time are in that album. So Daft Punk, and with their most recent thing, even now, they've come kind of full circle with making their own live music.
Yeah.
Having the musicians that played on those records, like Nile Rodgers from Chic, and tying into your Michael Jackson era, there was the guy, the rhythm guitar player for that Thriller album, played on that as well.
Nice.
And yeah, it's amazing collection of songs. Daft Punk Discovery, totally recommend it.
It's too good. It's too good. I'm finding it really hard to follow you after all these choices, mate. You've got really good taste.
But they're unique to me, though.
Oh, they certainly are. Like that's the thing. Like we're only halfway through, really, but everyone's is very different.
Yes,
But,
and that's what I like.
Oh, absolutely. It just shows you how universal music can be and how different it all is for everyone. So, my second one is purely and simply 1984 by Van Halen.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
A very similar thing to listening to Live After Death in the car with Dad. So we had that. We had a Mitsubishi Magna with that cassette in it, and then we had a Toyota Camry with this cassette in it. So, and both of them wouldn't come out. So even if I wanted to listen to something different, I was forced to listen to this, and I'm thankful
Not necessarily
for
a
that.
bad thing.
No, that's right. I wouldn't have it any other way, you know. But the reason it's formative for me is Iron Maiden got me into music, but Van Halen, and in particularly Eddie Van Halen, got me into playing guitar.
Nice.
Just some of his techniques and his showmanship and just his sound and the way he can manipulate a guitar to pretty much do whatever he wants. It's just insane. So I started listening to them, you know, when I was probably 8 or 9 years old, and picked up guitar when I was 12. I'm just like, I need to learn how to do this. And I still haven't learned. So, yeah.
But you've tried.
They do have 3 guitarists, so it's like,
Yeah.
you know.
Can I just say that I had a dream with Sammy Hagar in it last night?
Wow.
Now that you say that. I was like in some sort of school or something, and Sammy Hagar came in to sell his merch. And it was like really
He's
wild.
desperate.
It's so strange. Of all things, I dreamt of Sammy Hagar last night selling merch.
Not even David Lee Roth.
No, and like he came and spoke to me and everything. I was like, dude, you're Sammy Hagar. Cool. Like, can you drive 55?
Nah. And you're just like, well, he said to you, oh, sorry, kid, I can't talk to you now. I'm hard for teacher.
Oh, yeah.
Riffs.
Yeah.
Oh, that's probably one of the main songs off that. Like you got Panama, Top Jimmy, Hot for Teacher was the main one. Just the start of it. Like I had no intention of learning drums back in the day, but just the drums at the start were just insane. And I'm like, how can this get even cooler? And then Van Halen comes in with the solo, like just crazy stuff over the top. And yeah, it just turns out to be like a really sexy song when it actually gets into it.
It is. It's very good. Very smooth.
It made me hot for a few teachers, I'll tell you that much.
Well, there you go.
So,
What was his name?
Mr. Tram.
Mr. Tram. Oh, there
He
you
was
go.
my grade
Very
3 music
specific.
teacher. He was a
Wow.
cool dude.
We are really going into the deep end, are we?
Too deep.
Van Halen. Van Halen's a really cool band. It's really funny now that it's like a family band. Do they still play anymore?
There's been rumors for the past probably
I thought he's
4
been
or 5
sick.
years.
Wasn't he really sick there for a
He
while?
was sick
Did he
for
have
a while.
cancer?
Something
Mouth
like that.
cancer. And he blames chewing on a pick, but he actually played with a quarter
Yeah.
or something like that.
So
I don't
really-
know. I don't
so
know.
for
I feel
him,
I read that somewhere.
He's probably chewing on money, and money's the root of all evil, so he got cancer.
Yeah, well, there you go.
There you go.
That's cool. That's cool though. Like the Van Halen's a family affair now.
Oh, absolutely.
Their most recent album was actually really good. What was it? Well, it had Wolfgang in it, and Alex Van Halen. Props to him for actually being a really good drummer. And then David Lee Roth. So it's like, R.I.P. Michael Anthony.
Yes.
I mean, he's not dead, but he's just not playing.
He's not replying,
He's moved on with Joe Satriani
Hey, there you go.
and Chad Smith in Chickenfoot.
There you go. There you
There
go.
you
I
go.
love Chickenfoot as well. And that, like for my second album, like a similar thing with Van Halen was it was really hard to choose between Van Halen and Joe Satriani. Dad had 4 of his CDs that always played in the house, so
Yeah.
just those 2 guys in particular, the way that they handled a guitar was just ridiculous, and
Yeah.
that's what got me into it, and why I still play to this day, pretty much.
Nice.
So, yeah.
I like it.
Number 3.
Jackson, let's hear it.
Number 3, segueing on for manipulation of guitar, I'd say. I'm going to steer it another direction. But Rage Against the Machine's first album, Rage Against the Machine. I remember watching on Rage. I doubt it would have been video hits. It would have been Rage back in the day.
They wouldn't be
Old school Rage Against the Machine, a video clip of it. And Tom Morello basically DJing a guitar.
It's so cool.
Like he's up close to the amp, he's got the feedback going, and he's got the kill switch. He's going crazy. And that just made me realize, wow, you can do cool things with a guitar.
Yeah, pretty much do whatever you want within reason.
Like, he's a virtuoso in his own right.
Yeah.
So like I really appreciate what they do, and there's like
sure.
people are dying for them to come back
Oh,
in some capacity.
yeah.
So I can definitely appreciate
People
it.
who are game changers. Like that's what excites me. And then just his use of effect pedals. Like he was obviously known for his wah pedal and some pretty crazy tremolo things, and the whammy pedal of all things,
Yeah.
which I never got a whammy pedal because they were like $400 and I could never afford it. But
And his kill switch as well. Didn't he do stuff with kill
yeah,
switch?
like he would mod his guitar and just that whole world of just messing with what already exists. That just intrigued me and
was
like
really cool.
really got me into experimenting more with guitars. Not that I ever modded too much, but it really opened up the floodgates to spend a lot of money on guitar pedals over the years.
Yeah.
But again, and at the end of the day, it's still good music. Again, it's got that rap aspect to it, like Anthony Kiedis. That clash of, as opposed to more rap metal, rap rock. It was more of like a rap heavier sort of metal. Angsty also, maybe it was just the time I was listening to it, but it just ticked all the boxes at the time. And it's still good. Like you're still going to bop your head to that, you know. Like, there's still some
absolutely.
riffs on
It
that.
was funny. They were really popular in the late 90s.
Of course.
And I remember that was the era where Limp Bizkit came to
Yes.
fruition.
Yes, they did.
I had, what was the, From the Cradle? Is that what it's called? Is that the album? I could be wrong. I could be totally wrong. There was like an alien or something on the cover. I'm pretty sure I had that on cassette.
Wow.
I used to listen to them.
If you still have that cassette, I would love it.
I don't.
Damn it.
Did you guys used to listen to music on cassettes?
Oh, for sure. yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit here and there. Mainly
Remember your first
CDs. But
cassette?
I had like a portable cassette player, much like Jackson had a Discman.
Yep.
And then I progressed to the Walkman from there.
I had this big Sony thing. It was like it was on that show we actually watched. Like, don't worry. Some reference that the viewer won't understand. Anyway, 2 CD trays, 2 cassette players, like a really big boombox sort of thing, and I experimented with that. I had a petrol station down the road that still sold cassettes, and yeah, just dabbled with them from an early age, I guess.
Yeah.
I like that. I can appreciate that. I think my first cassette was
CDs first, though.
Backstreet Boys' Millennium. Do you guys remember that one?
Of course.
Of course. I played it on the car on the way here, mate. Like it's just,
It was good. Yeah. Anyway, not to diverge, whatever the name is. I'm going to go with my most recent favorite album. Obviously, Rush Moving Pictures was really good. Formative. Is that formative? Yeah. In my formative younger years as a musician.
Formidable.
Yeah, in that era. So Moving Pictures was really important to me for growing as a musician. Daft Punk Discovery was cool in terms of me opening my eyes to other music. This third one's gonna blow you guys away because you're not gonna expect what I'm about to say.
You shocked me with Daft Punk, honestly.
Really?
A little bit.
I'm a big.
I
Daft
thought
Punk
you were
fan.
just all like prog rock from the early days.
no way.
I think I'm zoning in on where you're going.
Where
So
do you think I'm going?
I think it's going to be John Mayer's latest one.
No.
Oh,
It's-
okay.
It's not. I'm a big fan of John Mayer's
Absolutely.
most recent album. Great job. But I'm gonna go with the greatest hits for the third one. And it's one that I have had in playing in the car for close to about a year now. You've even been in the car when the CD's been on. Do you have any guesses? Can I all right, I'm gonna say
Can you tell me the country of origin of the band?
United
as a
States.
clue. US, all right.
all right, so I'm
That doesn't
gonna,
narrow it down. That's all
at
the
all.
greats are
I'm
from
gonna
there.
all right, so we're gonna go Back to the Future.
Yep.
Does this not ringing any bells?
I haven't seen that.
Huey
film.
Lewis in the News.
Oh, of course.
Honestly, they're great.
Who's that?
Do you not know who they are? Huey Lewis in the News is really good. If you've
I know the Power of Love song.
That's
from,
it from Back to the
That's
Future.
it?
That's it.
All right, cool.
That's them.
That
They're-
defines banger, that song. That's insane.
Power of.
That's
Yeah,
what it
fuck
is.
yeah.
It's like Huey Lewis and the News, and it was cool because they had a a horn section that they called the sports section,
Yeah.
and it made sense because Huey Lewis and the News, and then the sports section because
They were very themed and they stuck with it.
it was so I really have grown to appreciate them. I went to JB Hi-Fi and I just looked for just something different. So I got Led Zeppelin. Ooh, my voice cracked there. Gee,
Ooh.
I was nearly 13.
So I got-
I was nearly 13 for a second. I bought Led Zeppelin Celebration Day with the remasters.
Course.
Or it's not Celebration Day, Mothership. because I wanted to introduce my wife to Led Zeppelin, the classics. And I also bought Huey Lewis and the News Greatest Hits CD. This was like in August last year.
I think we played a gig just after you got it.
Yeah, so that would have been on in the car.
Yeah.
And like I just threw it on then, and I was like, yeah, that's cool. But seriously, that was all that was in the car for months and months and months. So every time song number 2 would come on, which was "I Want a New Drug," good song, guys. You gotta listen.
Right in the feels.
You gotta listen to that. It's a really good song.
Rock and roll.
Really cool band. Honestly, really cool.
I'm checking them out.
It's
second I get home.
It makes me nostalgic for an era that I was never born in.
Yeah,
which is why
don't you hate not being born?
I really love the 80s. Like, but we're still living in the 80s. We're living in the new version of the 80s because everybody's going back to the 80s.
We're living in the 2000s.
We're going back to the future. We're going forward to the past.
Whoa! Oh my god!
Whoa, dude!
I need another coffee.
Big Ted, how do you follow?
We're going to the Twilight Zone here,
You can't follow Huey Lewis in the news. That's just impossible. But I'm going to try. So I started off with Live After Death that got me into music. I started with 1984 by Van Halen that got me into guitar. The next one for me got me into songwriting because that's the next natural progression for me. And this was another really close call. As most people know, I'm a very, very big Deftones fan. But I didn't start where they started. I started by listening to an album called Diamond Eyes, which was 2010, 2011, maybe a bit later. Anyway, that was a really, really awesome album, especially the title track, Diamond Eyes. Like, I saw the film clip to that before I heard any of their music before. I'm like, goodness gracious me. Like, that's
it's heavy hitting.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's also chill at the same time. Like, you can sit on a couch and listen to a few of their albums and just almost be numb. It's weird. It's very strange stuff. Yeah, comfortably numb.
No one said Pink Floyd.
Yeah, but I'm not surprised though.
They were never a big thing in my life.
Pink Floyd is they're good, but they're very niche at the same time.
I watched The Wall at a really young age.
Yeah.
And then it just kind of freaked me out with Pink Floyd. And only years later I found out that, all right, they're actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like as far as Pink Floyd, like I loved Dark Side of the Moon as a kid.
For sure.
I mean, at like 10 years old after buying the CD from Walmart, it's not like I was like, all right, here comes the drop. Let me light the joint at the same time, because that's what everybody did for Dark Side of the Moon.
Of course, and still do.
Some people still do. I mean, like, not that I would know. I've never partaken.
Never had a jazz cigarette.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. But yeah, I've never had a what?
A jazz cigarette.
Jazz cigarette.
It's a left-handed cigarette.
The devil's lettuce.
That will be for episode 420 of the podcast.
Episode 420. Yeah, Pink Floyd, really cool.
But going on from my number 3, though, it isn't actually Diamond Eyes. For me, it was kind of the Australian version of Deftones, I'm going to say, which was Silverchair. And this is where my mum's influence comes in. My mum was a big fan of, like, people
Daniel Johns.
Daniel Johns.
He's a good-looking man.
He's a great-looking man, even better-looking voice. Looking voice.
What? But it's like having a face for radio.
Pretty much, yeah.
Cool.
Like all three of us here tonight.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely.
No, me either.
Face for radio means you're ugly, dude.
Oh.
because your voice is good looking.
So that's what they were saying.
I've been taking it as a compliment this whole time. No. For me, it was a lot of people in Australia growing up in the 90s really enjoyed Frog Stomp, Daniel Johns and the other two in the band. I've forgotten your names, sorry. They wrote that when they were 16, I believe, like really young, and went on to make like 2 million record sales plus, like very successful from a young age. Everyone loved that. Everyone loved Neo and Ballroom. I was a big Diorama fan. Just the songwriting on that and the way that he could manipulate his voice was something that that my mother really enjoyed. She liked a lot of vocalists, like Jeff Buckley, and now she likes Adele and really big, really powerful voices.
Yeah.
And Daniel Johns definitely has that. So the way he can manipulate his voice, his chord progression choices, his note choices, and his singing and his guitar playing, going back to my roots, that's really inspiring in my own playing. So, so that's probably number 3 for me, I think.
Interesting. I can't say I've ever really listened to him.
You'll enjoy him.
It's a cult, or like a real actual cultural difference thing. Like, I had no idea who any of those bands were other than Wolf Mother.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That's my only introduction to Australian music because I actually saw Wolf Mother in 2006
Did you?
in Philadelphia.
I saw him at the Golden Vine a couple years back.
Did you really?
Yeah, they played because I used to live opposite the Golden Vine, so I sat in my front yard
They played at the Golden Vine.
and I watched them like through the window.
Really?
Yes, indeed. They
the-
packed the house.
The original lineup?
I'm not sure whether it was original or not.
What was the era? What year?
2012, 2013.
All right, not the original lineup.
No, but it was still Andrew Stockdale.
Well, yeah, he is Wolf Mother.
Exactly, yeah. He's the mother of wolves, that man.
Sounds like a
Fine.
tarot card or something.
Mother of Wolves.
But Wolf Mother at one stage were the biggest band in the world. But a lot of the bands that made it big in Australia, like trying to go over to America,
Never
or anything
happened.
else. No, exactly. So Wolf Mother was almost probably the first band to properly do it.
It's pretty much Wolf Mother and Keith Urban. That's it.
And
You never heard of Silverchair?
No, honestly, I haven't.
That was kind of Australia's answer to the grunge movement.
absolutely, yeah.
That's cool.
You'd really like them, but like they started off very, very grungy, very like Alice in Chainsy kind of helmet sounding stuff.
Yeah.
And as they progressed, Daniel Johns obviously got a bit older instead of being 16. And with his songwriting, it just, some really odd, but the choices of notes and stuff that work. But
Right.
It's really good. You'd really enjoy it.
That's interesting. Like Australia, I feel like they had an answer for most eras.
Oh, for
Like
sure.
Jimmy Barnes was the answer to Bruce Springsteen, more or less. I mean, like I can't say that I've really ever listened to
It's
him.
pretty accurate.
I mean, like that's what I think.
I prefer the boss, I think.
The boss.
boss!
Jackson, you were when we were pre-showing it up. There was
It's a real party over here.
a impersonation that you did that I thought was really funny. So let's hear it.
This is your blues, gentlemen.
This is if I'm to start my own solo career as a like a blues musician, guitarist.
Picture like BB King.
Yeah, I just have to really try to be an alcoholic and get in a really bad place and make some amazing music. Because that's how you do it in the blues game, right?
Yeah.
But like my intro little thing would have been, what was it?
It was
I
good.
don't have a name for the guy, so we're just gonna say it's Jackson Jones. But I'm like,
It is a
50.
black guy's name.
I'm like 50 at this stage. Fuck, I forgot how it goes. What's like the first?
You've been
word?
hanging around with too many jazz guys.
Yes. I'm just a dirty old blues musician who's been hanging around one too many little jazz numbers. And then he just starts like, playing away. So that's like his signature thing. Just, I actually like half wrote a song and I'm like, I can't commit to this.
You've got to stop because the persona's gonna like
He'll take over me.
the persona's gonna take over. I'm just quickly gonna check the GoPro for how much time we're at.
Should be on the front screen.
53 minutes.
Oh, plenty of time.
Would you believe that? So we've still got a couple minutes left. Trying to keep it in an hour program here, folks. Some of us have bedtimes.
What's bed?
I don't know.
I haven't slept in days.
I haven't slept in days. Ow!
I've lost my voice.
Where do we go from now? Look, I think that was a pretty good chat about good albums. A variety of tastes I seem to understand that we all have. Some really good hits. Metallica, Iron Maiden, and Rush for first. Daft Punk. I seem to have forgotten, Jackson.
We had Chili Peppers in the mix.
Chili Peppers, Daft Punk, and who did you follow?
Van Halen.
And then, sorry, my short-term memory's going. I'm getting older now.
I actually had like 6 bands in mind to say for this list, but I picked all the guitar-centric ones. Rage Against the Machine.
Rage Against the Machine, Huey Lewis and the News, and then Silverchair
Silverchair / Deftones.
/ Deftones. So like a wide variety of musical tastes. I see. I can appreciate that. It says a lot about who we are as people.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
I love music.
It's your identity.
It's my musical identity, my
Yeah.
thumbprint, my musical thumbprint. Actually, your musical thumbprint, wouldn't it be your earlobe?
I guess it would be. I guess, yeah.
Are you picking up what I'm putting down right now?
Always.
I've never thought of it that way, but I like it.
I like it as well.
I like it. It gives purpose to earlobes besides ear piercings.
Looking good.
Look, so let's wrap this up with a funny story.
What do you got?
All right. We'll all have funny stories. Let's do it. Let's all get into it. It's something funny that happened.
I'm not a funny person.
I'm going to kick it off. Literally kicks, because I got new kicks. Here's something that bothers me. I told you this the other day, Ted, when we went to get a coffee.
As we always do.
As we always do.
Without Jackson.
I'd say, man, you're selling the coffee. We're getting the coffee.
We're putting you in business.
Yeah, that's it.
This is true.
I bought a new pair of Vans, the retro old school Vans. I'm a big fan of Vans. I'm a big Van fan. A Van, as some
He's a
might
fan of the
even say.
Vans.
Fan of the Vans.
That's why you like me.
I started with Converse, and then I moved to Vans, normal Vans. And
Next, you'll go Yeezys.
And then a Yeezys. I don't know about that, Ted.
I would get them.
I think
I'd
I
get
think
'em.
you'd rock them.
They look pretty
The
comfortable.
black ones with the red.
You'd have to remortgage your house just to get a pair. But
I've-
it's worth it, you know?
Like, and the pants that he has, like the tracksuit pants, the sweat pants.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know. My voice cracked again. What is wrong with me? I'm still maturing. Look, the point of this story is that I bought a new pair of retro old school Vans, and they came with gray shoelaces. Let me just tell you guys, I'm not about that lifestyle.
No. That's not living your best life.
No, by all means, I'm not about that gray, just bland. I mean, my shoes are gray, but I don't like that.
You're
I don't
not a
like-
plain Jane.
I'm not a plain Jane. I like that pop. You know what I'm saying? Like the white shoelaces on the gray, the pop pound. So I got white shoelaces. But when I took them out of the packaging, I noticed they had gold tips, gold eyelets. Or is that what they're called? Eyelets?
Like the rings?
The aglets, whatever they're called. Look,
Is that the gold thing?
These
oh,
are-
yeah. All right.
Can I just say how ridiculous that looks?
I dig it.
I don't like it at all.
I'll trade you.
I like honestly like
The gold trim.
it's like
You have gold trims on your heads here. But
yeah, but like it says, I feel like the way I dress says a lot about me as a person, and I'm not about that gold tip life.
Not about it?
No, I'm not. I feel like I'm like, who's the guy with the big clock? The rapper with the big clock.
Most of them, I think.
Flavor Flav.
Flava Flav. I feel like him, but with gold shoelaces.
Yeah.
I really just don't like it. But
Not
I'm-
comfortable with that.
But I feel I can't do anything about it because I spent $12.50 on those shoelaces. Most expensive shoelaces I've ever bought.
Were they deceivingly wrapped?
They were. They came in a capsule and they were white
That's
shoelaces.
false advertising.
So who expects to get gold tip shoelaces?
They just wanted to get rid of the gold tips. That's all it is.
honestly whatever.
You know, I bought a pair of Vans. It was like the first cool pair of shoes I ever bought, and only. But they were Vans, and they
What
were
are you wearing
like,
now? You're wearing boots.
I've worn these boots every day for like the last 3 years.
They're slick.
Yeah,
They
and
do
I
the
still
job.
get compliments on them.
Can I just say that you should? This is really good. When you were in navy blue, so this would have been about 3 years ago. Did you wear those boots?
No doubt.
I would have
Navy blues.
navy blues.
Oh.
All right,
So the joke is that these two guys used to be in a band called Navy Blue.
that's how we met this guy. Hey.
Eric was our sound guy.
So anyway, cool shoes, yeah.
Yeah, I had the checkered ones,
Nice.
the checkered Vans.
I used to as well. The slip-ons.
I was 11 years old. I wore a size 11, which looks ridiculous.
Oh, I'm loving.
Clown shoes.
Yeah. And yeah, I thought I was pretty edgy. I was a pretty edgy kid. I was listening to Rage Against the Machine
Your
and
checkerboard Vans.
with my checkerboard Vans. Pink shirts we were in at the time.
I'm trying to
That was
imagine checkerboard Vans. Like,
like you haven't seen them.
No.
Oh, come on.
They kind of came back, I guess.
I can't imagine them ever being
Checkerboard
in.
Vans are for people who really like playing chess on the go.
Oh, right. It's a chessboard. Okay. Okay, cool.
All right, checkerboard Vans. You know.
I'm picturing like the floor of like La Paqueta.
That's
There
it.
you go.
That's it. So yeah, I used to wear them as well. I had gray and black slip-on checkerboard Vans. Wow, what a bad decision that was.
yeah.
Wow.
Or was it way ahead of your time?
Yeah, I think it was Back to the Future. That's what that
Pretty
was.
revolutionary.
Hashtag
Yes.
Google it.
Ted, do you have any funny stories to wrap up this podcast?
Regarding shoes.
Regarding shoes,
I mean, you don't have to. You know,
I think it has to be about shoes. I think it has to be now.
let's kick it off.
I
That squeak, that chair squeak, though. That was the
my
perfect-
shoes did that.
That was the perfect thing to go in there.
For me, I recently bought a pair of shoes online through a little.
Nice.
I would assume it was noise, but it wasn't noise. It wasn't noise at all. I think I underestimated the size of my own feet.
Yes.
The things that are attached to my body, I guessed incorrectly.
Oh yeah.
I bought a pair of slides because I'm pretty gangster like that,
Slides?
or I'd like to think, yeah, like
They're like easy to put on sandals.
yeah.
If you're
Dude,
really
they look
lazy.
baller.
What are they? What's the exact thing called?
Type in like Nike slides,
Okay, Nike.
Imagine like hotel slippers, but yeah.
but they're
Oh yeah, it does. Yeah.
yeah, absolutely, yeah. Gangster
On
hotel slippers.
steroids.
Yes.
So my idea was I'd rock up to work in those with like long white socks and just look gangster while I'm serving people.
You just need a independent record label for your rap music.
Yeah, absolutely. I am working.
Just
on
start up a
it. I'm working
SoundCloud and you're
Yeah, dude, all my jams are on SoundCloud.
get the
But
Flavor
like-
Flav clock.
Yeah, I ordered a size 10 and a half, which is very specific because I'm generally between 10 and 11. And I put them on, and I think they must have sent me a different size or was
Really?
mislabeled. I couldn't get my toes through it at
Really?
all. Yeah, I'm just like, get on. But it didn't get on at all.
Even with a shoehorn.
Yeah.
what do you need a shoehorn for Nike slides?
You have to. Yeah, I went to my shoehorn drawer that's in my room, and I just couldn't get them on with any of the different
Nice.
shoehorn models. So, so they're just kind of sitting there, and I use them as like an insect swatter, or like if I see a spider,
It's probably pretty optimal. Like, it's ergonomic.
it's pretty flat. It's got good grip. Yeah. So-
What are you going to do? Why won't you return them?
because I bought them online, you can't return them.
Yeah, you can. Send them back.
Not through Catch of the Day, you can't. That's why they're so cheap.
That's why they get you.
they're only like bloody $20 or something like that.
Nice.
So
Wow. That's interesting.
yeah.
I
so-
really like that.
So I think I'm gonna have like to get them to fit. I think I'm gonna have to get a size 22, just to fit.
Well, then it'll be like throwing a hot dog down a hallway then, Ted.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I need
It'll be too big.
to fit these ham hocks.
Yet you're only a size 10 and a half.
It's so
I'm
specific.
a size 10 and a half that way, but also width.
Yeah.
Like, that's
right.
You've got some girth.
I'm a girthy man.
He's
I'm
like a
girthy
Lego man. It's like,
Pretty much.
I
Pretty
see.
much. I'm very, very square.
did you have a Lego in the United States? Of
I've never heard of him.
course not. More of a Duplo guy.
Duplo.
Duplo.
Are you kidding me?
Connects.
Duplo, you're more of a Meccano guy.
Meccano.
Duplo's for people who have food stamps. Like Lego's the good stuff. You kidding
No,
me?
people
Legos
that
are
had food stamps
yeah, man.
then had to use that kind of stuff for food stamps.
I loved Legos, man.
Lego's some, yeah.
I used to love building that. There was a point last year or 2 years ago where I nearly spent $400 on the Ghostbuster Firehouse.
What's this Neely business? Why didn't you do that?
I mean, I'm a married man. Like,
Well, go Harvey's. That's only fair. Like,
you want to talk about me sleeping on the couch? Like buying a $400
you've
Lego
got a nice futon out there.
Ghostbusters playset.
You
I'm
have
gonna-
a futon.
First of all, it's never going to get put together because I don't have the time, and nor do I care. And like,
Was it the new Ghostbusters or the old one?
the old one?
Oh, well.
You wouldn't get the new one.
I was just making sure.
It's a good judge of character. Like if you like the new Ghostbusters, like immediately,
I was-
I'm
yeah.
defriending you on MySpace.
Defending on, you're no longer in my top 9 on MySpace.
Oh,
no
man.
longer.
Do you remember how like
You're an
important it
odd
was?
number guy. Cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, the way that the HTML coding worked on my particular thing was you had three like a 3
I was
by
a little
3
like
grid.
cube.
Oh, were you?
Do you remember how important it was to be like number one on somebody's list?
I was number 1 on everyone's list.
Well, absolutely.
I just kept mine as Tom,
He's a good guy.
just so I didn't have to have that problem.
Yeah,
It makes sense.
That makes sense. He's a good guy. Like he's a good friend to a lot of people.
He
a
made
lot of people.
MySpace,
He would, and
him
he would never
props.
release your personal
I wouldn't put
data.
Mark Zuckerberg in like my number one. If Facebook did it, I wouldn't have Mark in there though.
No, I wouldn't either because he's giving your personal information.
No, he can get zucked.
Well, speaking of get zucked, that's it for the Live Room podcast. Thanks again
That's
to
it,
everybody
guys.
for coming in together and making it work. The humble beginning setup, with our coffee table and our off-white chairs, and my MacBook Air with a pressure mark in the LCD, which you guys can't see. That stopped recording, by the way, so I hope my iPhone's still recording.
Yeah,
We're just doing it live, man.
Cool.
This is
what
what
happens.
This is what happens.
That's what happens. It's all part of it.
Look, this is going to be on iTunes and SoundCloud.
And
Cool.
YouTube and Facebook and,
And YouTube
Instagram
and Facebook.
and Twitter and LinkedIn.
We're going to be linked in, man. That's it. I hope the cameras are still rolling. I'm sure they are. I've got 256 gigs on that bad boy over there. Ooh.
That's a large phone.
It is a large phone.
Large phone for a medium Ted.
Larger than life.
Peace.
That's it.
That was fun.
Thanks for
Good
watching.
stuff.
We'll see you guys on the next episode of The Live Room. Take care. Bye.